So right now, I think Valve is making a very big mistake, and that is what we are going to be talking about in this video today, obviously. It is now August 1st of 2024. We are in the back half of the year, and it has been an interesting one for Counter-Strike 2 and the Counter-Strike 2 community. There's been lots of good, lots of bad, lots of things that we maybe didn't expect and wanted and got, or maybe some other things that we did expect and haven't gotten just yet. But lately, or most recently, especially in the month of July, I think Valve dropped the ball in a pretty significant way, and that's what I wanted to discuss. But of course, first, just wanted to mention real quick, if you are looking to sell any of your CS2 items and turn them into cold hard cash or crypto or any other payment method, you should definitely hit me up over on Twitter. It's going to be the first link in the description below. We're buying pretty much anything and everything for the right price. Obviously, I don't have access to Buff 163 anymore, so we're having to buy a little bit more liquid stuff. So we're having to be a little bit more selective, a little bit more picky. But if you have some even, mostly liquid items or stuff that can easily be sold around or shopped around or whatever, I would love to buy them. And of course, by selling them, you're helping support me, my channel, my content, and giving yourself to get some cash instantly. Maybe you need some stuff for IRL or just to switch up your inventories, portfolios, or whatever. I would appreciate it a ton. With that being said, let's get right into this. So there was a lot of speculation in the month of July what Valve was going to be doing. I mean, there was even speculation back to June, talking about whether Valve was going to drop an operation, best case scenario, but even, in some worst case scenarios, if they were going to drop some kind of big update that was going to be, new maps, new game mode, some people still want Danger Zone, some updates to Overwatch, some updates to the anti-cheat, new cases, new collections, any kind of stuff like that. And obviously the month of July came and went, and this was the biggest update we got. We did get a pretty significant change to Dust 2, obviously adding the self boost onto Cat, like you can see here. But obviously in these release notes full for kind of the most significant update we got in the month of July, there's not really anything too crazy. There's not really anything that significant. We got some clipping adjustments on Nuke, community workshop updates for Assembly and Memento, which they already should have done even before they got released. They added the game servers in London, nothing too crazy here. Copenhagen major trophies added to player profiles like, 4, 5, 6 months after the tournament's over. Like, I don't know, just kind of an overall pretty shit update. If the biggest thing was just this update to Dust 2, that's not really going to cut it for a lot of people. It's not really going to get the player base excited outside of, the most crazy Dust 2 fanboy in the world or whatever. And yeah, it is a nice quality of life update, but this should kind of be the bare minimum for what we could expect. Stuff like this should be happening on a weekly, bi-weekly, whatever basis. But yeah, we didn't really get anything crazy like that. You can see they weren't even that active on Twitter or anything like that throughout the month. We also had people, kind of noticing the trend of, hey, in April, towards the end of the month, they put out this big update. May, towards the end of the month, they put out this big update. June, they put out this big update. So, Valve was kind of on fire. People were finally getting excited. Hey, Valve's put out a lot of updates. And if we even look back to like February, when a Call to Arms came out, this is a very good update. People loved the Call to Arms update. One of the bigger and more significant updates in CS2 history, in Counter-Strike history, I guess. And then we got 3 months in a row of pretty big, pretty significant, pretty exciting updates. People were like, hey, Valve is pointing in the right direction. Earlier in the year, we had to, I guess towards the end of last year, we had to go through the whole situation of the bad release of CS2 and the no new content and the kind of the unfinished game and the shitty release and all that stuff. Then towards the beginning of this year, we had to go through, Valve's on vacation and blah, blah, blah. But now, hey, there's finally, nothing to do. It's time to work, and they've been getting to work. They've been pumping out a ton of updates. But again, we can see for July, all we got was this open season kind of piece of news, which is not anything like these other three. It's not like the real MVP. It's not like Fire Sale. It's not like On the Other Hand. This was, just a very, very, it's like 3 sentences. Last year, we announced a broad strokes of new rules for professional Counter-Strike events to take effect in 2025. Today, we're filling in the details. Counter-Strike is at its best when teams complete on a level playing field. Our goal is to ensure professional Counter-Strike teams remain an open sport. Although we expect there will be some rough edges as we transition to the new requirements, we're excited to see what the future will bring. They really say nothing. I mean, this deserved a whole news post. They're saying literally basically almost nothing there, so that's ridiculous. And this were the 2 big pieces of things we got in July. So obviously, to me, that is a pretty big disappointment. Hey, it's August now, time to get rehyped, re-excited. Hopefully August will be a big month where something comes, but I'm getting less and less excited for something to come out because as we get closer to the end of the year, we have the Shanghai Major coming around. And obviously around the Shanghai Major, there's going to have to be a lot of, gameplay updates and making sure the game is ready to go. And then there's going to be the new Shanghai stickers and there's going to be all that stuff going on and making sure that obviously this thing in China goes very, very, very well. So could they release an operation around the time of the Shanghai Major or announce the operation at the Shanghai Major, maybe for, the start of 2025 or something like that? Yeah, they could, but it's still August. We still have, 5 more months to end the year. So it is a little bit disappointing to me if we're not getting some kind of big summer update or whatever. Obviously, We have seen recently that the player base has been trending downwards. Now, again, I have been saying that this is not very concerning to me, and I don't think it is. I don't want to be too doom and gloom about this. I don't want to make it a bigger deal than it is. But again, in June and July, we did see a player base decrease. Now, hey, so far in August, things are trending up already. We're having a good first day of the month, or at least things are maybe starting to flatten out, and maybe we're not dropping anymore. I know summer is kind of winding down. People are, maybe going to be going back to school. People are, not going to be on vacation anymore. So maybe this is a better time, and maybe Valve chose on purpose to not really drop anything significant over the summer because they were expecting a player base dip or the numbers to not be as good or whatever, and they want to have stuff getting ready for like the fall and winter when people are going to start be heading indoors and playing games and stuff again and not be out enjoying the beautiful weather and all that stuff around the world. So I don't know, maybe this could make some sense. I think there's definitely some arguments to be made in that direction, but again, while they had some nice updates coming out in like April, May, and June, things were trending up, things were doing pretty well, but then, hey, in the month of July, we really got nothing, and we saw this steep decline, this minus 7.62% of the average player base in July, and again, that coincides with a period of no significant content coming out, the game getting a little bit stale, people getting a little bit bored, in this modern day and age of very, very active publishers and active developers. You have some insane games out there and some insane teams that are putting out new content weekly, daily, whatever, at least monthly. It's kind of the general expectation in the gaming scene nowadays, especially for, games that pump out as much money as CS2 does. So yeah, we were pretty disappointed. I do think Valve is making a big mistake by not giving us anything in the month of July. And to me, that's pretty disappointing. And again, just not even a year ago, they had the very disappointing release of CS2. They took way too long to fix the game, make it playable, and to give us some new content. Obviously, cheating is still a big issue, but hey, that's kind of always going to be an issue in FPS games. Are going to hopefully make that better and better. But the least they could do is, continue to give us big updates and new content, stuff like that, especially because CS2 was supposed to be hyped up as this insane new game that's going to do all these new things, and it's going to be this whole new era of Counter-Strike. But so far, it's pretty much the same old as CSGO in a lot of ways, if not even less. The majors we've gotten so far, like Copenhagen was exactly the same as Paris. It was like literally different in almost no ways. We haven't gotten any other new things. The updates to the content aren't coming out any faster. Yes, the kilowatt case was cool, but just a case with some skins in it is not really enough to get people hyped up and excited and get them playing this game. Obviously, the markets have been pretty boring as well. We've seen a significant drop-off. This is according to the Esport Fire 300 graph. We've seen a significant drop-off in the markets over the past 3 months. But like for the past month or 2 months, it's been pretty flat. Nothing has really happened because people kind of own what they want. People aren't really buying or selling a ton. I've definitely noticed some significant drop-offs in, like my cash trading and stuff like that. People really aren't looking to buy or sell a ton right now. People don't really know what to expect. People don't really know what's going on. People seem just pretty complacent holding what they have. Because like I said, there's been nothing new. There's been nothing changed. There's been no significant updates to the market. So the items are what they are. So I think that's also a pretty, disappointing thing. And then obviously cases is a huge moneymaker for Valve. And we, now with July being over, we have the case numbers for July. And we saw back in May, 33 million cases open. And then lately, June, we had 18.5 million. And now in July, we had 18.1 million. So the case numbers are definitely trending downwards as well, which is obviously bad for the markets. But that's bad for Valve as well. So Valve knows, and obviously everyone knows, that if Valve wants to get their numbers up and start, making more money and blah, 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 obviously they still have stuff like the Copenhagen sale going on right now, but I can't imagine how much money they're making off of that. They're going to need to get the player base reinvigorated and excited again, and I do think they'll do that. Again, in the long term, I still believe in Valve. I think Counter-Strike, the game is too fun, the game is too great, the game is too perfect, just like at its core. I'm not saying like CS2 is a perfect game, because obviously it has its fair share of issues, but like the formula of a Counter-Strike game is a tested, tried and true formula. It's a great game. People are always going to enjoy it, at least to some level. But in the short term, I definitely think Valve has made some iffy and weird decisions and kind of dropped the ball a couple of times. That's, making people a little bit frustrated, scaring people a little bit, making them not excited about putting a ton of money into this game and throwing their money at Valve. Now, obviously, as soon as Valve puts out some banger content, that's all going to change. And it's always, what have you done for me lately? But lately, they haven't done shit for us, so that is pretty disappointing. And again, I think Valve is making a big mistake because, again, there was a lack of content for so long. We should be getting more and more big new updates. And, it's also, they just dropped this Crownfall Act 3 and Collector's Cash update July 9th for Dota 2, so maybe they were putting a lot of manpower and a lot of focus on Dota 2 for the month of July, and now Counter-Strike's going to be next or something like that. Or maybe, I don't know. I know they have like a new game coming out and stuff too. Maybe that's going to be diverting resources away from Counter-Strike. I don't know. That'd be a little bit scary, worrisome, and annoying. But at least for now, a slow down month through Counter-Strike with not anything too big or exciting happening, which hurts the market, hurts the game, hurts the content creation scene. But hey, hopefully August is better. That's definitely what I'm hoping for. But that's pretty much every video today, guys. Hopefully catch you in the next one. Until then, peace.